Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Dustin, Berserker Bear, trying to get you a little quick hip fire edition. Was out doing a little bit of boots on the ground a couple days ago. Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? Good to see you. Good to be back. Let's get a little quick recorder session here going out. Let me close my mug here. And so, what you're looking at is my the pictures that I have, my Google Photos, and we're just going to go through some ideas here. And I will also pull up my Instagram account, and we'll track some ideas off of that. Namely, what I really wanted to address today was this post that I put up recently, earlier yesterday. The Holland Land Company is the company that purchased the tract of land that I lived in, or that I live in, excuse me, Western New York. I'm in Riverside, and we're going to go over. Actually, I got a cool. You guys think mudflood? And I'm joking here. Okay, just take this very lightly. There goes me and my baby girl at the foot of Sheridan. Check that out. That's also on my IG. That's sound being put through water. You guys think that mud flood, huh? Check this building out. Again, it was nice out the other day. Whoa, what's going on there? So this is right near my house, actually. I've been driving by this my entire life. Not only have I been stepping over the old infrastructure in my basement, but I've been driving by this house, or this building. So, real quick, let's just go over it. It's a red brick industrial. We're going to correlate on Google Maps as to where we are. And I also get out on the ground. Well, I get out on the Terra and get right up next to that thing so you can see how it's not that high off the ground. And the entrance goes underground. So we're going to take a look at that. I probably will eventually, hopefully, solicit to speak with the owner of that building professionally, try to get in there. But that is a place that I've been passing by my entire life, and I don't think that it's actually mud flood inundation of one global event, realm-wide event. I will layer that, but let's continue on. I wanted to get preface and show a little bit of a preview. So let's go back to the original point that I was making and try to stick on topic here. It's another thing that I have to work on, not repeating myself and sticking on topic. I got some good feedback recently, and I appreciate that. You know who you are. Anyway, Holland Land Company is a unincorporated syndicate of 13 Dutch investors from Amsterdam who in 1972 and 1792 and 1793 purchased the western two-thirds of the Phelps and Gorham Purchase, an area that afterward was known as the Holland Purchase. Aliens were forbidden from owning land within New York State except by special acts of the New York State legislature. So investors placed their funds in the lands of certain trustees who bought the land in central and western New York State. The syndicate hoped to sell the land rapidly at a great profit. Instead, for many years they were, and then you can check that out yourself. I grabbed that off of Wikipedia. Anyway, it's a very unique location, as I think it's one of the only places in the country, as we're going to read my post also to give some context on my insight, or I guess my opinion, you'd say. But yeah, this area has a very unique feature as far as the home deeds and the household deeds. They're very important, and it tracks the sale of purchase. Now, in Western New York, that area that I just described, which is also called the Western Door, okay, a book by Mason Winfield that I have that's extremely important, that I get a lot of my information from, and a lot of work that I do with Robbie, who is really informative with the native lore, mythology, and information. We're going to be using this still going forward. Spring's coming, it's getting warmer. I'm getting the urge to get out of the house. It's still only like 26 degrees right now. My attrition is waning in that respect. But Robbie brought this to the table, and he's got more data where this comes from as far as the monuments. I think that a lot of the stuff that we're seeing as mounds, um, this is right near my house. That's not, this is an IG post, but I just want to paint a picture that a lot of the stuff that we see and are told are like landfills where they put garbage on. They might also be these burial mounds, and we're going to try. I'll layer over that, but let me read and go back over the Holland Land Company because I think a lot of the stuff we're seeing is either ancient pyramids, maybe, or even mining refuse like tailings and spoil tips, and I've been over that before as well. So, okay, let's read my post and contrast it against the information that we're given by mainstream as I state here. Okay, this is the outfit syndicate that purchased the tract of land I live in, the Western Door, Western New York, all land west of the Genesee River. This per native history of the region, and some say, and I agree with, a more truer version of the mainstream academia. All deeds of homes in this sector of the United States have a stamp from this company, the Holland Land Company, from the original purchase of the tract itself. One of the only, if not the only places in the entire country that can boast that stat. Given all that, and given the cited mainstream academia say it was purchased from native tribes that were all warring anyways and in conflict with each other, and that may be so, but it doesn't change the fact that the purchase itself was carried out by an unincorporated syndicate outfit, not too dissimilar from the actual mafia itself. That's 100. And I'm going to show you a clip from the movie Goodfellas that actually details how the mafia operates, but also how geopolitics operates. Okay. Thus, it would stand to reason, and one can make an argument that the transaction of the purchase of land itself, the Western Door, is therefore null and void, and this land is still rightfully native territory. Boom, get at me, Crazy Horse. And check that out. The Crazy Horse Monument is pretty crazy. So if you're tracking me on my IG, I do post a lot of stuff, obviously. Music, pop culture, cool things, hence.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Now, let's read my little caption here, and it kind of, makes it a little bit more funny, layering how it's relevant to right now. So anyway, I was posting stuff on the mafia because I think that, in my opinion, the mafia has taken, the global syndicate of the cabal and their operations way back in the day, and they use it themselves. Whether it is a symbiotic relationship or, one is copying the other, there's a certain not a reverence, and I'm not admiring the lifestyle. I'm not advocating for the lifestyle of the mob. I'm just showing that it's a parallel to how the geopolitics works. Okay, now I do like movies, and of course we all like mafia movies, so let me show this clip. I got it playing at a little bit faster speed, so maybe I won't get a copyright, but I really don't care. It is what it is. They're only strikes, or warnings, so I never really get a flag. But anyway, this is a very good short 1 minute clip of how the mafia rolls, also how geopolitical, things happen on the geopolitical spectrum.
Guy's got Paulie's apartment. Now the guy's got Paulie's apartment. Any problems, he goes to Paulie. Trouble with the bill, he can go to Paulie. Trouble with the cops, deliveries, Tommy, he can call Paulie. But now the guy's got to come up with Paulie's money every week, no matter what.
That's the protection. Not all government is bad. Okay? Keep it in that context.
Business bad? Fuck you, pay me. Oh, you had a fire? Fuck you, pay me.
Sorry, I should have prefaced and said that there is some foul language in this. I apologize.
Place got hit by lightning, huh? Fuck you, pay me. Also, Paulie could do anything, especially run up bills on the joint's credit. And why not? Nobody's gonna pay for it anyway. And as soon as the deliveries are made in the front door, you move the stuff out the back and sell it at a discount. You take a $200 case of booze and you sell it for $100. Doesn't matter, it's all profit. And then finally, when there's nothing left,
Fucking shame.
and you can't borrow another buck from the bank or buy another case of booze, you bust the joint out. You light a match.
Reaching anything?
You look like you're decorating a Christmas tree, you fucking prick. You don't know what you're doing.
Boom. So now take that into consideration. You can pause and read my excerpt here. That's my take on things. Also, check out a lot more stuff on my IG. We're going to track back to it. I share music also that I like a lot. Okay, we're going to play another clip now, tracking into what I think about the mud flood and everything. Now let's incorporate what we just watched and how I look at things as far as when you light a match and you burn the business, you burn the Ponzi, you burn the industry, you burn the scheme, you burn the paperwork, you burn the evidence. And I have a burning of Buffalo, a few pictures here. And that's what I think happened in this city, and also in Black Rock. When the English came down through 1812 and burned everything. I've explained this before, and I still have work to do on this. This is what is pictured after, or depicted to be Buffalo after the burning of it. And I think these are all basements of previous dwellings, or they're the tops of, I think possibly that might be poured mud, or maybe render, and stuff was terraformed. Now that draws away from the global inundation of a mud flood idea, because I think it's more sedimentation and overgrowth over time, and we're going to show that. I've posited that in previous videos, but I don't think that I've articulated it too well. Again, I know I repeat myself. I'm long-winded, and I go off on tangents, so I am trying to work on that. Meanwhile, as I sit here and show you this picture, I'm sitting in one of these basements right now. Are these chimneys? There's a comment underneath one of my older videos that reference this and say, are they oil derricks? They're alleged to be chimneys, and I'll show you a picture of my chimney in my basement. Mounds all around here. Are they landfills, or are they actually burial mounds? As I show here. Highly suggest you read my caption. Not that mudflood is a purposeful red herring and people are doing it intentionally. I have just done an about face on it myself. That said, we're looking for my chimney. Okay, here we go. This is the chimney that's about 10 feet away from me right now, and it goes all the way to the ground, and it's exactly what you're looking at, I believe, here. I'm in one of those houses. Now, where my home is in the most northern part of the city of Buffalo, and I'm going to show you that building again. Boots on the ground. Oh, Robbie and I were looking at places to go bushwhack here in the western door. Everything west of the Genesee River. I mean, effectively, that's my stomping ground. You know, even up to Rochester and Oswego. So Oswego is not in the western door. If I said that previously, I made a mistake. Western door is everything west of the Genesee River. Okay, anyway, what was I doing? Yeah, so I was tracking on this thing with Robbie the other day, just doing some brainstorming as to what we're going to do. So the area that we're focused on here is northern Buffalo, but it's actually called Riverside. Okay, and without giving too much away, I am in this vicinity. And the Croatian club, that brick building, is right here. It's actually the most northern, this street right here, Vulcan, the Roman Greek god of metallurgy. Very interesting. That red brick building is right here. We're going to track back against that. But just to give you an idea, this is the most northern part of Buffalo. It's quite far away from the actual city center, which is all the way down south here. But it's still the city of Buffalo, therefore. And in my basement, which is very north in the city of Buffalo that I just described has one of the basements that seem to have been burned. Now, I still have more work to do on that because what I think that we're seeing and what I've said previously is that stuff was either purposely buried or left for the sands and the dust of time to accumulate over, and then comes back to and buried out or dug out. And where the where the digging out stops, it's where it looks like it might be mudflood. And that's when I say in one of my posts that the robber barons are good at fading the land and barbers are good at fading hair. So let's read this. This is a good summation of what I think to be the mud flood. Okay, a major portion of what the mud flood is, in my humble researched opinion, is overgrowth and sedimentation. Now, this can also include purposeful burying, and then sedimentation and overgrowth still occurs. What we see here does not speak to the realm-wide mud inundation, mud flood, or even liquefaction. We are seeing the past buried and covered by the sands and dust of time. Be wary the red herrings in history. Side of gravy note. These mounds are everywhere around the realm, and I believe these pyramids are underneath or they are spoil tips and tailings from piles of ancient mining. Excuse me, and sorry about that. Now let's layer a little bit more. This is a series that I watched when it came out. Man, I'd say 15 plus years ago, definitely before I met my wife. So, very interesting. What it does is it paints an idea of what would happen to the realm, the earth, if people were to suddenly disappear. I know that's extremely dark to think about, but it's actually a very interesting concept and a very interesting show. I watched all the videos. There's actually one done about Buffalo and the International Bridge, which is pretty cool, and the river. I should find that and share it, actually. It does have the Niagara River in it. Anyway, I'm going to play you a clip, and it's going to give you a little bit of context for underlining what I just detailed about what I think of the mud flood could be.
The driving rains mix with the sand and dust, filling the broken buildings with mud. In the time of humans, emergency services would have cleared the debris. With people gone, mud fills the offices of Phoenix's business district. This creates another problem. Mud is heavier than dirt. And if there is too much mud, the buildings can't survive much longer.
Okay.
The driving rains mix with the sand and dust, filling the broken buildings with mud. In the time of humans, emergency services would have cleared the debris.
Okay, that's a very important part to extrapolate on because one of the things I'm going to be going over with Robbie is all the waterfront work that they've done here in Buffalo, changing it. I've done it before. Also, Erie Canal, obviously they backfilled it. But the point to note is that if you don't dredge canals and waterways, that silt builds up and it can overtop if you don't maintain it. So when municipalities skimp out on doing that stuff, that's why you start seeing a lot of these floods in third world countries. You don't realize that they're not maintaining spillways and canals, and over time, if you have a 10-year flood, 20-year flood, and those waterways aren't maintained and spillways aren't dredged, there can be a serious problem. And what can happen is if places are abandoned, I think of like Pitcher, Oklahoma, because of mining and stuff fire that started underground that's actually detailed in one of the episodes in that Life After People. um, places get abandoned and the habitat encroaches extremely quickly. So mud flood or sedimentation and buildup over time, and then we just come back to it, find it as ruins, and then uncover it, which is what I think happened here. So anyway, let's get back to the boots on the ground because I don't want to go too crazy long with this one. So pass by this one, I'm like, you know what? I gotta show people this building, and then we'll extrapolate on it. I'm gonna show the video. It's kind of windy, so heads up. But we're gonna get out and take a walk around the Croat Club. Also got a movie reference for this one because it reminds me of a movie. We'll wait till afterwards for that. Boom. Good to see that, huh? Okay, so it's not doesn't have a mound up to it like some churches do. It's flat around it, but it's got the ground level windows, as we'd say quintessential mud flood. But I don't think this is mud flood, y'all. I think it's terraforming. Okay. I think that there were cities that were pre-laid out, prefab. I've done that before. This is about 10 feet off the ground. You're gonna maybe a little bit less, maybe 9 feet. I played basketball in my day, so I got a pretty good judge. I'd say it's about 9.5 feet. Now, this is the front entrance, and I've noticed my entire life, like I said, I don't want to repeat myself. To get in this place when it's open, I could see it. There's a stairway that goes down. Now, hopefully one day I'll see somebody around here. They do have get-togethers here. It's communal. This is a Croatian club. There you go. Please be respectful, y'all. But it's just very interesting that it looks like it goes underground. It does go underground. Does that indicate a realm-wide inundation of mud, a mud flood? Absolutely not. I think it indicates terraforming and city grading and city planning and selling a whole prefab city. And I might as well layer that with some backup. There goes your boy. All right, so quick boots on the ground. It was really nice the other day. I had to get out. It was almost like 60 degrees. So we say that's way more than t-shirt weather here. Like I said earlier, it's 26 degrees here now. When it's so cold out, like 8 degrees like it was 2 weeks ago, you get a 40-degree day and it feels like t-shirt weather. And that's no joke. Okay, so that was the Croatian club. And let's get the old school zoom in that I used to do. Drop the guy. Right, okay, so on the left of the screen is Tonawanda. On the right of the screen is Buffalo. This is Vulcan Street. And there goes the Croats. And when I say a movie reference, a good one, good B-grade movie is Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson. Because it's got the Croats and the Serbs going at each other. Pretty good one. Yeah, very interesting. So what I think this is, just like I'm in my basement now, there's a substructure. There is a drainage in my basement. So that means that there is piping under my basement that indicates that there was terraforming going on prior to the building being here, or if this was happening. What I'd like to say is that it doesn't indicate one realm-wide inundation. I think it was purposely buried or laid out ahead of time. And let's layer that some more with something that I've shared previously. And if you're paying attention, you might remember. This is obtained from open with Library of Congress, sorry for not having it ready, but this is Dispatch, New York. And I just want to draw your attention to the idea and the notion that these are all laid out. Okay, these are plots of land all laid out, businesses already, buildings already there. I'm not getting into the argument whether or not these buildings were here built or not. Do they have the ability, impossible architecture, yada yada. I definitely think that we have the ability to build these buildings, in my opinion. It doesn't mean that there weren't like cobblestone buildings here or even like massive infrastructure and canals, like I've been saying. But read this here. Find businesses and residence lots on easy payments. Write down for further information. They're literally selling you a prefab city. So just keep that in mind. When I show you something like the Croat, the Croatian club, okay? Purposefully buried or just left for the sands of time and then dug out. That's stuff that I have to work on. And if that's the case, what was here, ancient mounds, like I did with Robbie. We got more stuff to do at Forest Lawn Cemetery. Like you see here. This is all data that I got from Robbie, sending me info on Red Jacket, the native that was here. That was his grave was moved. Why? I would advise checking out my video with Rob at the Mount Albion Cemetery because it's very similar to Forest Lawn Cemetery in that it's very big and it has terraced levels. So I think that it's possible. Oh, there you go. I think it's possible that these were actually those pyramids, like you see in my IG post, or ancient tailings from mining or spoil tips, and they're being covered by these Catholic burial sites or whatever, so you can't exhume them. It brings to mind Pet Cemetery type of deal. But when I was at Bushwhack, no, it wasn't this one, the Two Towers, Mount Albion Cemetery, and Soldiers Monument, check that video out because that Mount Albion is very similar to Forest Lawn Cemetery, and I think that they purposely put cemeteries over old sites so we can't ever access them. That's just a hunch that I have. Anyway, check out my channel. That was just a quick 1-2 of what I got coming out in the future. Excuse me. And I just wanted to touch base and put something out. So again, I really appreciate your love, support. Please like, share, subscribe if you do like my channel and what I put. I hope you learned something when you come here, and I got more to do. So from me to you, keep your head up and your faith up, and I will keep it sleuthing and reporting back. Take care. God bless. All right.